gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody, how una day? It's your boy Jibril of the African Fighters, and today, guys, before I introduce Kingdoms, I have to introduce our lost brother. I literally had to go beg Farouk. I say, Farouk, I beg, come join us, make we talk about boxing because you are our resident boxing expert, ladies and gentlemen, from Middlesbrough, England, Farouk Mohammed. Farouk, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to be here, guys.
Farouk, remember the name Mohammed.
Pound for pound champion.
Glad to have you back, my brother. And yes, regular suspect, ladies and gentlemen, President Israel Adesanya fan club and king of all ladies. It is Ademola Odewade of the Kingdoms podcast. Live from Belfast today and not London. Ladies and gentlemen, how you they do, my brother?
I'm good. I'm fast in Belfast, bruv.
Yeah, one more person before we go. I introduce one more person. Ladies and gentlemen, it is none other than my brother, Bruce Buffard. All right, Bruce Buffer. Enough of that. Guys, this is the African Fighters podcast where we talk all things Africans in combat sports. We try to do as much as we can. Thank you for joining us again. We would really appreciate if you hit that like button. It is absolutely free of charge. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about what happened last night. Anthony Joshua, shocking loss in his fight against Daniel Dubois, live at Wembley, 96,000 strong. Me and Kingdoms were there. So it's good to have our perspective of being there live and also the perspective of the biggest Anthony Joshua fan I've ever met in my life, in Farouk Mohammed. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be a good one. A couple of things we'll talk about. We'll talk about Daniel Dubois. We'll talk about Joshua Buatsi from Ghana and his fight with Willy Hutchinson. Martin Bakole is also somebody we will just talk about. And also, is the beef between Belal Mohammed and Kamaru Usman real? We'll find out this and plenty more on the African Fighters podcast. Thank you for tuning in, guys. All right, Farouk, I want to start with you because I've heard enough from Kingdoms. So I want to talk about your emotions first. How was it emotionally to see your boy Anthony Joshua lose to Daniel Dubois like that?
Man,
sorry to hijack you.
He was trying to recover from that whole fight yesterday. It was sad to see Joshua lose because I'll say this started since the Olympics, since 2012. I started following Joshua, and the main reason I invested so much time in Joshua is because of he didn't have to do that at that time representing Nigeria, but he was always talking about Nigeria in every interview, every questions about Nigerian image. Then there was a lot of bad image about Nigeria, both home and abroad. But he's always there to clarify that we are doing the great things. We are doing great for Nigeria, representing the motherland. That's why representing England at that time. A time came, he used to walk out with the two flags, Nigerian flag and the Great Britain flag. So that love, there's that connection. That's my countryman. There's that love, that humbleness. So you all know the story. So that's how I became Joshua fanboy, like you mentioned. But regardless, I've been objective. I know Joshua's strength. I know his weaknesses. I've tried to make it fair as much as possible. But it was sad. I was down for 1 hour yesterday, not knowing what to do after the fight. I was sitting here on these decks, could not progress. I wanted to go and pray. I could not pray. I was just until after 1 hour, I processed everything. I'm like, let's see what happens next. So that was the experience and the emotion, if you want me to put it that way. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, you have. You had a better vintage point because you were watching from home. You had the live commentary in your ears. And we were in a packed stadium, and the only things we could hear was ooh, ah, ooh, ah. So, so tell me, can you break down the fight for us and what led to that knockout?
The fight, okay, I'll start from the ring walk. Dubois came in confident. Even the pundits and the commentators were saying Dubois will come in nervous. First time being in front of that crowd and 6,000 fans, including you guys. So, but he came in confident. He came in like the guy that knew what he was there for. But I still think there's some little African juju in that thing, but we'll talk about that later. But AJ came in like looking like he's relaxed, he's confident, and this is going to be a walk in the park. But I can sense that fear. This is not the normal AJ workout. I don't know if you guys saw that from the stadium direct, but it looks like he's trying to act focused and relaxed. I don't know. I just feel maybe I wasn't comfortable because we know Dubois is a power puncher, but that was the feeling I got. The fight started within 30 seconds. AJ was clipped, and the next thing I saw AJ doing, looking at the corner, trying to get information at that moment, I knew something was wrong. And then he recovered, like nothing happened. Luckily, the bell went, and then they stopped the fight. The second round, so Dubois controlled the fight all through. To be honest, Dubois dominated AJ from start to finish. AJ was surviving in round 4. I think he was knocked down 3 times. Round 1, round 2, and round 4. Round 4 was more like he slipped. And at some point in time in that fight, I don't know if you guys saw that, the ref waved off the fight. He waved the fight off, and moments later, he asked AJ, "Are you okay?" AJ said, "I'm okay," and the fight continued. So, which I think was a fair one because it's going to be a form of premature ending. Imagine spending so much money, the fans in attendance, 90,000 audience. It's going to be a bad ending. They'll say, "Oh, he stopped the fight too early. AJ was still standing and all that." So, letting that fight go on, despite being controversial, was good. Then AJ got Dubois hot in the 5th round, and I think he made a rookie mistake by chasing Dubois, wanting to finish the fight. And also, I can also see from another angle whereby he knows that his legs are gone. Because if you look at the second round when he was clipped properly, he did that chicken dance. And he knew that if I try to go 12th round with this guy, I may not survive it. So let me rush in and finish this fight. So he went, they traded, and then Dubois chinned the guy with an uppercut. Classic uppercut. And fair play to Dubois, man. He showed up, he did his thing. But I don't know if you guys will let me talk about the controversial part of Dubois later on. But for now, that's my own.
You know, with the experience life in the stadium, we were actually high up in the nosebleeds. Now only small remain, make we touch roof, and so we were the emotions of watching a fight from that position is more. You are more carried with the reaction of the crowd noise. If the crowd goes, then you'll be like, actually, I think someone is hot now, right? Because we are seeing what's going on and we are also seeing the big screen. I agree with you. I kind of feel like the fight probably had already been done after that first knockdown in the first round. Like, it was too clean. The jaw moved. You could see the jaw move. And you know, this jaw is connected to the brain. Everything. So once that is just touched, you would never be the same. So, like, I don't think I've ever seen a boxer. I don't watch as much boxing as Farouk does, but I've never seen a boxer survive a fight like that, except maybe, God knows, maybe a haymaker from out of somewhere. So I'm just going.
Early. It was too early with that knockdown. The first one, just less than 2 minutes. So it's
it's difficult to recover, most especially going against a power puncher. To be honest, in the heavyweight division, everybody is a power puncher. But what I noticed is, why did AJ went reckless, right? I feel like round 1, 2, 3, 4, he was surviving. He was just there surviving. At some point in round 4, I thought the fight would be called off. But like in round 5, that exchange that caused the knockout per se, he just felt, okay, I cannot go the distance in this fight because I'm hot already. This is kill or be killed. I'm going to go out swinging. And we know that one of the best fight finisher, not that a knockout artist finisher, in the sense that if he smells blood, he's very calculative with his punches. We've seen it time and time again. AJ is that guy. He knows how to capitalize when he hurts his opponent. I would say, I won't go out of a limb and say that's AJ's biggest strength, being calculative and finish a fight once he hurts his opponent, because that's how he mostly wins his fight. So that's what he threw that out of the window, swinging, kill or be killed, right? And he ended up like, I saw him loading up an uppercut before he got clipped with that counter right. He was loading up an uppercut, leaving his chin in the air, and he got clipped. And like, bro, when he went down and I saw his leg kicking in the air, I was like, I've seen knockouts like this so many times. There's no way he's going to get back on his feet. And I swear, for like 3 minutes straight, I was like that meme. Remember that Miss Girl? I be that Undertaker guy. There's this guy in pro wrestling, the Undertaker guy, that he was stood like this when Undertaker lost his WrestleMania streak. That was me. I was like the whole time. Oh my god. Oh my god. The only person that was Demola was next to me. He was giggling. He's like, I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Kingdoms? Kingdoms, what are you doing? Then Demola was talking to me. Me, I was not even answering him. He turned around. I was telling some white bloke that that's not the real AJ. That's not the real AJ. So Demola, let me pass it to you. Why were you still so chilled about AJ losing like that?
Come on, you can't kill yourself. I've just learned in life, right? In defeat, you stay graceful. In victory, you stay grateful. So both in defeat and in victory, you try to maintain your steez and your composure. I was there to support two Anthonys, and one of the Anthonys won, and my main Anthony lost. But we still stay grateful.
Yeah. I'm going to ask. I want us to give Daniel Dubois his roses, right?
But definitely, I did give him his roses.
Wait. As you know, over 90% of the people in that stadium are all casuals. They don't care about boxing. They only care about the star names. I'll tell you this
definitely.
because that place was only packed after Liam Gallagher from Oasis was performing. That is when people started paying attention. Nobody cared about Joshua Buatsi. Nobody cared about Hamza fighting in the co-main. Nobody cared about anything. They only cared about Anthony Joshua. They didn't give a hoot about Daniel Dubois and Liam Gallagher. Those were the two selling points. So now for casuals now that overlooked Daniel Dubois, I'll put my hand up. I'm one of the casuals, even though I was actually scared for Anthony Joshua for this fight after I saw what Daniel Dubois did to Big Baby Miller. Why were people underestimating Daniel Dubois so much? Before I get to you, Dems, I want to take the opinion of this boxing dead shit writer. Go ahead, Farouk. Why was people underestimating Dubois that much? You included, Farouk, because I remember your prediction was 5-round knockout for Anthony Joshua. Why do you think the boxing world and the casual world underestimated Daniel Dubois?
Two main reasons, or three reasons. The experience. Joshua has been there before, Wembley Stadium. It's hard to see a young up-and-coming boxer hold his own in that environment, that atmosphere. This is a record-breaking event, 96,000 people in that stadium. So, so I thought this guy will be under so much pressure. Daniel Dubois will be under so much pressure, and he is going to lose focus and struggle in the fight. That was one reason. If I look at it from psychological reason, second reason is that Joshua is the experienced fighter. Has fought in Wembley twice. This is third time. This fight was the third time. He fought in Cardiff also. So the experience in a former two-time champion, and also that amateur history. Even though there are different sides to the story, there's a story that I believe Dubois took something from the story of their past sparring in the amateur when Dubois was in the amateur. So they all train in Team GB at Team GB. Joshua is a big Team GB guy. It's more like the mentor, the guy they all look up to. And his then coach, Rob McCracken, he is the head coach of Team GB. So all these young amateurs will go there and train. And then about 8 years ago, Dubois was just coming up. He was training with Joshua there. And they spar about 100 rounds. That's the news out there. They spar about 100 rounds. And in one of those sparring sessions, it was believed that Dubois dropped AJ or knocked out AJ or knocked down AJ. And in my own opinion, since that was the main story point, and then a lot of fighters, when they spar AJ, they go to the media and say, "Oh, we hurt AJ." And Joshua, at the start, Joshua allowed that. They said, according to what I know, they said Joshua allowed them to grow their name with his name. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Like to say they spar him just to get their name out there to get that shine. And it happened. It happened for them. Even when Joshua fought Ruiz, there's a guy they call is it the Hooper or something? The guy they said dropped AJ before the Ruiz fight. He knocked AJ down in sparring. AJ was concussed. All those kind of stuff. So I think that was the thing. Another reason I believe that AJ won most of the sparring session. But they were all talking about that one sparring session Dubois won. That was so look at everything as a whole, and also one final point is that Dubois has been labeled a quitter when the fight gets tough, or the as I said, the going get tough, he crumbled under pressure. Yeah, he did
Exactly.
that against Joyce, even though I'm not called that quitting because he was hot. He had a broken eye socket, so I don't know if you want a fighter to carry on with that, knowing that, and I think he did well
Are
for
you
himself.
talking about when he took a knee when he was
Yeah, when he
fighting
came in against
Joe
Joyce
Joyce?
and
Yeah.
Joe
around
Joyce.
10th or 11th round after suffering so much punishment, Joyce
Even
was
against
just
Usyk
jabbing
as
that
well.
eye all through the fight. Against Usyk again, he took another kneel. He gave up. Before that fight, he fought in South Africa, a very good fighter, Kevin Lerena, where he was knocked down 4 times in that fight. But because the fight was in the UK, somehow they allowed the fight to go on. Dubois won. So in my mind, I saw him as that guy that is going to quit again. And I saw Joshua as that guy that is the experienced fighter. And I also believe Joshua had a powerful punch. Out of the two of them, he has a power punch when it comes to both of them punching. So that's why I thought Joshua would win 5 by in the fifth round by knockout. But the opposite happened, and that's heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen. So yeah.
Yeah, so King Dems, how did you think Daniel Dubois got this done?
It's simple, it's a brutal sport, right? It's about kill or be killed, eat or be eaten, live or die by the sword, right? So it's basically a game of very, very fine margins, right? And in heavyweight boxing, it's less about the skill and more about the power. Let's be very honest, and if everybody has a plan until you get caught in the face. So AJ did have a plan until he got caught in the face. And you can remember, while we were up there in the nosebleeds and Duval was making AJ's nose bleed, right? I told you something. AJ never fully recovered from that first punch in the first round. It was very clear in the second round, right? The third round. In the fifth round, he was just recovering from that punch and he knew he was on the back foot. And that's why he wanted to rush the fight and try to chase a finish. And what happened? He did clip Dubois, right? But then he got caught. So basically, in heavyweights, right, it's less about the the skill, and it's a fine balance of both the skill and the punching power. Because if you get clipped, forget it. No matter how great your game plan is, it's going to be a bad night. So I feel like if they activate the rematch clause, AJ has a strong possibility of getting that one back. That's just my take on the whole thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking points coming from this fight, like what is next for AJ. Eddie Hearn did say they are going to activate the rematch clause, which I think many people would not want to happen. And in my opinion, I feel like if that rematch clause happens, AJ is going to come back. He's not going to be relaxed in the first round because now he has tasted Dubois' power and he's going to kind of like be more calculative and probably win by points. I'm sticking to AJ beating Dubois by points, and sort of like what AJ did against Ruiz in the second fight. That's
And the
what I
second
think
fight.
would happen if that rematch happens. But Farouk, do you think a rematch is something that AJ should do, or what path do you think AJ should take?
To be honest, I think AJ must take the rematch. That's the only way forward. He
Mhm.
must clear his name out of this. He must kind of make amends in this situation. If there's no other path, I don't think this time for him to go back and rebuild. He's already 35 years old. He already rebuilded before, so going back to rebuild is going to be like a backward movement. So take the rematch against Dubois, defeat Dubois, and eye the fight against Fury or Usyk for undisputed again. That's the only path. I don't think he should fight the likes of Joseph Parker. There's another good fight out there. Parker is a good fight to take. But I don't know. Parker is a good fight to take, to be honest. But take Dubois again, defeat Dubois, and then forge ahead. That's the plan. The plan was to fight Fury or Usyk.
We've seen AJ come back to take back his L, right? First time against Ruiz, he
Under
came back.
Ruiz.
He wasn't doing media. He never barbed his hair. He looked all scruffy like he was homeless, and he just came there, did what he had to do, and won the fight. A lot of people thought it was boring. He tried to do it again against Usyk, but he lost both fights, right? Now, what I'm thinking with the backing of the Saudis, right? Now we know that AJ will only fight in Saudi or in the UK, right? This next fight against Dubois, I feel like AJ would not want it to be like heavily promoted like this last one was, right? Do you think it's like something that is worthy to be in Wembley, or do you think they should just go to a small arena?
It will
Do you
happen in
think
Saudi.
they should make a spectacle of it? Because if it happens in Saudi and nobody will go anyways, but what do you think? Do you think it's something that should be like celebrated as like a big fight, or what do you think, Farouk?
First, it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a main event. Even though no AJ is a guy, they'll make the main event obviously because they want to make that pay-per-view money and all that. But
And
it
it's a
should be
belt.
a main
Belt.
event because of the belt as well. So most likely it's going to be in at the O2 Arena. Most likely O2 Arena or in Saudi. But to make, I don't know. You guys, you at the start you say I'm AJ fanboy, AJ. Well, to be honest with you guys, I'm going to be honest for the first time. Properly being honest, I'm being fair. I don't see AJ beating Dubois in the match. I think it's done. AJ is done. I'm being honest
And
here.
why is that?
Is that what you think? Is that what you think?
Why do you think AJ is done?
AJ cannot knock Dubois in the next fight. If you go again and trade with Dubois, because what happened is that I'm looking at this from a deepest line. Like I told you, I saw AJ walk out. I could tell this is not the AJ. AJ wasn't looking this tense even when he fought Usyk. There's a story we don't know that they know among themselves in that gym. Because go and watch the narrative before this fight. It was all about the gym story. That AJ was dropped by Dubois, and Dubois picked confidence in that fight, and he made it public for us to see now. So what make you guys think he's going to be any way different going into the match? Because AJ will be, from what I know about AJ, he's going to be guiding all through the next fight. Like you say, jab, and win on point. And Dubois will come in rushing. Dubois will clip AJ. You say, okay, let me make it clear now to you guys. Say, why will AJ not win? Dubois is faster than AJ. It's facts. We saw that yesterday. Dubois jab is more dangerous or more effective than AJ. He was jabbing AJ all through the fights. His power
Snapping
punch,
his head back.
AJ. To be honest, I don't want to be too harsh to AJ. I don't want to brutalize AJ today, but what we saw yesterday, skills for skills, Dubois seemed to be a better fighter than AJ, 100% all through. So I don't see AJ coming back because if AJ get clipped again, he's going down against Dubois. You guys saw what happened to his leg was twitching, he was shaking. AJ, I checked after that fight yesterday. I checked AJ online to see his net worth. AJ is worth 400 million pounds. Bros, you my Nigerian brother. Retire. Wow. No, retire.
It just reminds me of.
AJ cannot be the boy again. I'm being honest with you guys. No.
Why are you like this? A lot of Nigerian
I'm
people,
being
a lot of
honest.
Nigerian people were texting me this morning, texting me condolences and telling me, tell your guy to retire. Even my father was saying, AJ, I think AJ is done. Please
He's
tell
done.
him to retire.
He's done,
I'm like,
baby, he's
why?
done.
Why
I'm
are you
telling
people
you.
like this?
No, I give you the point.
I believe he can make a comeback. He can launch a
Yes,
comeback.
against Parker, he should go another route.
Absolutely.
And it's not the best
So
game.
against Boa, and he can win on
Okay.
points.
We'll see.
JB, you agree with me? He has a pathway to victory in that fight, and that is to win on points. Simple. Come on.
I think people underestimate the defense of AJ, right? Let me say it this way. Like, I understand he left his chin open and he got clipped. In our whole life, we've never seen AJ got knocked out until now. And for you to survive your boxing career to 35 and you've never been knocked out, you are doing something good. And we saw after he got clipped in the first round, he did a pretty good job surviving. Except for that time that he dropped his guard. One simple mistake he made was he was loading up for an uppercut and he left his chin in the air. Normally, if you load for uppercuts, you use the other hand to protect yourself, right? But he didn't do that. All logic went out of the window. All logic went out of the window. I get that. I feel like AJ can can defend himself and not take damage and score by points as long as he goes into that fight lighter, because he was heavy coming into this fight. He thought he needed to add more weight. If he's lighter, he's going to move on his feet properly. He's going to be good with switching the angles and all that. And he's going to dance and dance till we get to the 12th round. What do you think, Farouk?
I like the way you try to help AJ's
Farrell
career.
He's
The
very,
reality
very
is that AJ,
skeptical.
I still believe AJ will beat Fury, regardless. I don't know if you guys follow Don Charles, the Dubois coach. He's the same guy that coached Derek Chisora for about 7 years. His strategy is go and bully your opponent. That's how Chisora fights. AJ cannot fight such fighters. I've watched AJ fight for the last 7 years. AJ doesn't like the guy that will come and bully him. He's the guy that will bully his opponent. Dubois will go into that fight. Have you ever seen Dubois fight this way against any opponent before? No. Even against Miller, he was conscious. Even against Hegovic last fight, he was relaxed, taking it step by step. But AJ, they know. Go at him. Jump on this guy. And Dubois will come and jump on AJ. AJ cannot survive you guys boxing tactics for 12 rounds, jab and jab. He cannot survive Dubois. Dubois will clip him again. AJ need to escape Dubois' spots and fight someone else. If you go that route.
So you are the one. You are still the same person that said, "Oh, AJ should do the rematch." Now all of a sudden he shouldn't do the rematch. What are you thinking, my brother? My brother.
No. I'm saying that's a straight path forward. He cannot go backward and go and rebuild. They will laugh at AJ.
Okay, so if he's not fighting Dubois, who should he fight?
Wait for Tyson Fury and Usyk. If Usyk demolish Fury again, it will be game of the losers. And I fancy AJ chance against Fury. Fury is not a bully. It's not like a aggressive puncher. We all know that. And it's also a storyline that AJ has dropped Fury in amateurs. And that is why Fury is boycotting AJ all along. Just like the same story with Dubois. See, without the IBF belt on the line, AJ will never fight Dubois. Even though I know AJ is someone that doesn't cherry pick, he fights anybody towards him. But without that IBF belt, AJ will make it look like Dubois is just an up and coming. He's not at my level.
Yeah, speaking about this young unknown with high potential and killer power fighters that people are running away from, I feel like nobody wants to fight Martin Bakole. I feel like this is a good place to bring that in. Martin Bakole from Congo. He's out there
up against AJ, and AJ said he's open to it.
Yeah, AJ says he would like to go to the national stadium in Kinshasa Stadium, to kind of like, because that's the same stadium that they did Rumble in the Jungle with Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, and he feels like if him and Bakole do a fight there, that would be great. But now after seeing this, I swear I don't see how AJ will beat Bakole, because Bakole is not about skill, my brother. Bakole is all out war. He's hit and you hit him, and because of how young, because of how young he is, his chin is very strong, so he can withstand punches. So, boy, can you withstand his own? That's the problem. It's sort of like what we saw with Israel Adesanya. That age don't reach him. He got clipped against Dracos Duplessis, and then we saw what happened. His chin is not what it used to be. And right now, we know AJ's chin is not what it used to be. But let's talk about Martin Bakole. And I want to pass it to our resident boxing expert, who is in the middle of this stream right now, Farouk. Why are people scared of Bakole? And would we ever see Bakole fight again?
Yes, I think Bakole will fight. The fight everybody's talking about now is Bakole and Zhang, Zile Zhang. So to be a battle of two Boogieman in the heavyweight division. But they are all scared of Bakole because they know Bakole. I'll tell you what happened. Bakole actually caused this problem for himself. He is one of the few heavyweight boxers that goes out to explain sparring session to the media. And that is why they kind of deliberately froze him out of the division. That was what the boxers are claiming, that he talks too much. But in reality, they know that what he's saying is true. And nobody has come out to debunk his story. Nobody has come out and say this guy is lying. So if Bakole is part AJ, he said sometime before that I know what I did to AJ in the gym. And ask people in the gym, they will tell you. So you expect AJ to come and say, oh, Bakole, come and fight me afterwards? No. So that was the problem. And two, he's not very lucky with the promotion, the management. He was with Matchroom at some point in time. They were not giving him the fight he want. They were not giving him fight against AG. He left. I think currently it's with the other guy, Ben Shalom, the guy boxer promoter.
Mm.
And Ben Shalom is not as big as Frank Warren and Eddie Han. So and Martin Bakole is that guy everybody's scared of at the moment. Tyson Fury will not fight
Mm.
him. Usyk will not fight him. So I think he's going to keep on fighting lower rank opponent. In my opinion, I want to see him against Efe Ajaba. I think that would be a good fight. They're almost ranked the same level. Bakole is
I
ranked
don't
number
want to
7.
see it. I don't want to see that fight.
We don't want one African to
That's the
cancel
fight now.
another
Don't,
African.
don't let them cancel each other.
Okay, if we
Come
don't want
on.
Africa against African, then I think the fight will be Zhang. Zhang. Because Joyce will not fight Bakole now. Joyce is also going down. Joyce used to be one of the Boogieman at some point in time. The guy with the with the metal chin, but not anymore. So
Now
Bakole
na
should fight
aluminium chill.
Zhang. But to be honest, I want to see Bakole against Dubois, but that will never happen. They will protect Dubois so badly and carve his path for him up to the top. Now they are eyeing the fight
So
against Dubois and Usyk. So Bakole, we don't know what happened next. I don't know who he's going to fight. He has been calling everybody out, but they don't want to fight him. Yeah.
yeah, so Farouk, you mentioned Efe Ajagba. Last I knew about Efe Ajagba is that the opponents he gets are not necessarily high level. Right, the last time he fought somebody that I thought was high level was when he lost to that Cuban guy,
Frank Sanchez.
uh, Frank Sanchez,
Frank,
right? But he has fought since then, I think twice.
yeah.
Why do you think that rank-wise, Efe Ajagba is similar to Bakole at the moment?
To be honest, at some point in time, people even favor Ajaba to be a better fighter than Bakole. But to be fair, that's not the case because Bakole has fought better opponents than Ajaba. He fought Olympic gold medalist Tony Yoka. He defeated that guy via knockout, I think. Yeah, he fought that's his only defeat. Michael Hunter, another top heavyweight who is no longer fight. I don't know for the reasons why he fought. Mike Hunter also fought Usyk. So Bakole has faced better opponent than Ajaba. And Ajaba, I think, is due to his promotion. He's with top rank, top rank in the US. And top rank are known for most US promotion. They are known for your first 20 to 25 fights. You take bus drivers, tank drivers, and all that just to make your record. And
Club bouncers.
when they are ready to go in there and make their mark, they crumble. Same happened to the guy Michael Bakole defeated Gerard Anderson, that young guy, the big baby Gerard. Everybody believes he's going to be the next big American star. He's in the same promotion with Ajaba. Who also what happened. So I think Ajaba is delaying so much. That's why I want to see him against a likes of Bakole or a top 10 fighter at this point in time. He's ranked number 4 or 5 in the WBC ranking. He's currently the contender for the WBC belt. But we always know going to get that because he's number 1 contender for the
Who?
WBC.
Ajagba?
Oh,
Ajaba is
Ajagba.
number 1.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Wait. Efe Ajagba is currently number 1 contender for
Yeah,
WBC heavyweight title, which is one of the belts that Usyk has.
Yes, the green belt.
Yeah,
Yes,
Usyk holds up there.
yes.
Holy
He's
smokes!
number 1
Isn't that the one?
contender.
Isn't that the same belt? The same belt that Wilder was clinching on the last time, the one that
Yes.
Fury won.
Yes, the same belt.
So why are the Saudis not considering bringing Ajagba in? Is it because they don't do business with Top Rank?
I think Ajaba is here to kind of prove himself that much. Yeah, that top ranking is also part of it. Most of the guys coming from the US are coming like kind of like independent fighters working their contract directly with the Saudis. So I don't know the relationship with Top Rank. I think that's one of the reasons. But at the moment, if you look at the ranking, the guy with you can see, yes. If I'm looking at the ranking at the moment, if you can go to WBC ranking, Ajaba is the silver belt, WBC heavyweight silver champion. His name is just behind Usyk on the ranking. If you go to so normally if you are the silver champion, that's the position of Dillian White when Dillian White fought Fury some years back. It's more like the number 1 contender. That belt is number 1 contender belt. So he's next in line for the heavyweight title. But is he waiting? We don't know. I feel he's kind of waiting for that big shot, but I don't think he's also ready for that big shot. I think he fights the likes of Bakole, prove himself, show the Saudis, because Turkey Al Sheikh is a guy that wants the best. Ajaba needs to show those guys
simply the best versus the best.
guys. And then move or fight another guy. You guys know him, Ajit Kabayat, the guy that's fought in Saudi twice. He fought Parker, right? I think he fought Parker. And yeah, he fought
Is it
Pacquiao
that
and
the
all.
guy they call the lion or something?
I can't remember his name. He's from he's a
He's
Kurdish guy.
Dagestani. Okay,
No,
okay.
Kurdish, from Kurdish, and also,
No,
but
but is he
basically,
not is he not that guy that they call the lion or some nickname like that, or desert
I can't remember
lion or
his
some
name.
crap like that? It's okay.
I
It's
That's
think
a
okay.
something like that.
lie.
Yeah, he has the Arabian,
Yeah,
nickname. Yeah,
yeah.
he
He
has the
has that.
Arabian nickname.
He has that Khabib type of beard.
Yes,
Is
he's the
that
one.
the?
Ajit
Is,
Kabayel. Yeah, he's from
uh
Iran also. But
What
yeah,
is his nickname?
so
Check
that
it.
guy's also good.
I think they call him some lion, some type of lion. Uh,
Either Ajit Kabayel or Martin Bakole. If we really want to see Ajaba in that big fight, I will not lie to you. I'm one of those guys that want Ajaba to step up. I think he's
hmm.
good, but I think after seeing what happened with him against Sanchez, and after that fight, Ajaba became like AJ when AJ lost to Ruiz. He's scared of going
Hmm.
and trade. Before that fight, he was trading, he was engaging. He's going all
Hmm.
out to knock out his opponent. I don't know if that's being smart. Demola is the accountant here. He's the finance guy. He knows what it takes
Risk
to be smart and what
assessment.
to do. I don't know if that's a smart move.
It's
Maybe it's a
called
smart
risk
move, but
assessment.
okay, this assessment. Okay,
It's called risk
so
assessment, bro. You
he's
need to
not going
assess
all
All
out
this.
to
right.
go to knock out.
All right. Before we derail, let's pull this back to the fight card we saw yesterday. One of the co-mains, we saw Joshua Buatsi with a split decision against Willy Hutchinson. I remember when game came into the arena and we sat in our seats. We met Boatsi fighting. And because we were sat so far, we couldn't see the names, right? All we saw was a black guy versus a white guy. As typically we were black people in the arena filled with white people, naturally we were like, black guy should win. After the finish and they were announcing, we were like, Joshua Boatsi, oh shoot, it's this Ghanaian kid. Ghanaian man, sorry. I think he's 31 years old or 29.
I've
Uh,
always known and support Joshua. Come on.
yeah, they called it a split decision, even though when we were there, we saw at the time that we were watching, the black guy drop the white guy twice, and we saw that the black guy was sort of like putting it on. But anytime the white guy, I'm sorry, I'm going to be calling them this because at that point that was our perspective. That was how we were looking at it. So we didn't know who was fighting. So at
Why do you say we? Why do you say we? Say
you were there. You were
I
there.
knew who was fighting. See, Joshua Buatsi, right, actually fought some guy that was on my podcast. So I knew he was fighting. I knew who he was.
I knew he was on the card, but when we came, we didn't know who was fighting. We just saw a white guy and a black guy fighting, and they were not saying the names because there was no commentary. We cannot see the graphics properly. We just saw white guy, black guy, and me and you. I remember clearly. We were like, this black guy is beating this white guy. That was what me and you were saying. Anyways,
before we could see the names.
Yeah, when they were announcing the winner, and they're like, by split decision, Joshua Boatsi. Like, oh shoot, it's Joshua Boatsi. And to be honest, with the eye test, it didn't look like that, right? But if you were in the arena, you would actually think that Willy Hutchinson had the fight. But Farouk, watching from home without any distractions or any influence of crowd reaction, what did you think? Did you think the judges got it right?
No. I think it was kind of. I think maybe like you mentioned from the crowd, the judges were going with the crowd noise, and Willie Hutchinson being the home guy, the Scottish fighter, definitely the fans will go behind him. They were cheering for him more, and the judges were thinking he was doing so much. But what he was basically doing, sometimes he got Boise hurt at some point in time, no doubt about that. But he never caused any serious damage or knocked down Boise. Boise knocked him down twice. And also Willie got his a point deducted in the fight for headbutt. So with all this combined, I don't see how and Boasi dominated throughout the fight. I think he won about 7 to 8 rounds clearly, taking out then putting the knockdown into consideration. 2 knockdown, 1 point deducted. Definitely going to be
10-8 rounds.
It's supposed to be a UD decision. So unanimous decision, but you know how they do it in boxing these days. They just try to make it a bit close just to kind of console the opposition. But we all know Boatsi. What got me scared was when we were announcing the score, and I saw Boatsi like he wanted to cry. What was going on here? Am I going to be robbed? But fair one for Boatsi. There's this bad blood between the two guys. They all train at Team GB as well. You know, the same Team GB Olympic team. And there's that narrative that Willy Hutchinson was kind of was bullying Boatsi in the gym those days. So he also made a prediction that he's going to knock out Boatsi in the 5th round. But Boatsi is kind of way above Willy Hutchinson level. He defeated the guy. I think you're talking about the Nigerian guy you interview, Aziz, right? Is it Aziz?
No, he defeated the what's it called? The Canadian guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan Ford.
Ryan Ford.
The real deal. Yeah.
So Boatsi is still undefeated, and I think now he's the European champion, light heavyweight champion. He's also the British light heavyweight champion, and I think this is time for him to step up and fight the likes of Bivol in that division. He has to challenge for what?
All right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, so one more thing to do before we go. I want to give a special shout out to Anthony Kakache, whom of which our boy from Belfast here, Kingdoms, ran into the airport, and he has gotten a new contact in his contacts. As you can see, I am showing you guys the Instagram page of Kingdoms. He's flexing here. This is Belfast Airport. As you can see, with the IBF and IBO World Super Featherweight Champion Anthony Kakache. Dems did say that when we were in Wembley, he's there to see two Anthonys. I sound like a casual right now. That's because I am. All right, enough with boxing. All right, we spent 40 minutes talking about boxing. We're going to dive into the world of MMA. Recently,
you're no longer casual.
Recently, there was something interesting that happened. There is a podcast called Remember the Show. That is podcast between UFC welterweight champion Belal Mohammed and UFC announcer Joannick. And on that show, they made a revelation that shook the internet, MMA internet. And that revelation is that Belal Mohammed was a guest on Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo's Pound for Pound podcast, and it almost got to a physical altercation. So I'm going to read to you what the statement is. And these transcripts come to you by bjpen.com. All right, so it says... so Belal Mohammed says, I will say this. They are not very good at talking. He's talking about Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo. So I think I verbally broke down Usman. I think he got emotionally broken, so he tried to get physical. But when you try to get physical with the champion, there's levels to this. As of this writing, Usman and Cejudo haven't uploaded the episode with Belal Mohammed yet. And I've been telling you guys, I'm going to give you my opinion about this first. I've been telling you this guys. I've been seeing this fight promotion from a mile away between Usman and Belal Mohammed. I don't think they have any animosity between them, right? They've got the same management. They've got the same type of struggle in the UFC before they became champions. They seem pretty cool before now. And we know that Ali Abdulaziz has Twitter fingers. And we know that Ali Abdulaziz is one of the most influential fight managers in the UFC. Like, he gets some Dana White privileges. As for example, he managed to get Abdulrazak Al-Hassan a new contract to the UFC despite the losses Abdulrazak was taking. So that's how influential Ali can be. And we know he can be conniving. That's why Conor McGregor hates his guts. So... So all this drama has the writing of Ali Abdulaziz on it, right? They are trying so hard. And to be honest, when that podcast episodes eventually drops between Usman and Belal Mohammed in the Pound for Pound podcast, when that episode drops, I am going to be watching one thing. the thing I'm going to be watching is to see if these people are acting or if it's real. You
Body
understand?
language.
That is everything. I will study everything. I'm going to see maybe because myself, I work with an MMA promotion, right? And one thing I try to do, me and Farouk, one thing I try to do is I try to build rivalry between fighters. I try to start stuff that is not there just because we want a better digital presence so people will think these guys are fighting. So if I'm going to draw a plan for Bilal Muhammad and Usman for everybody in the world to think that they are fighting, I think it's smart to have Bilal Muhammad on Usman's podcast. But what you will think is, if they are actually fighting, why will Bilal leave his own podcast and go to be a guest in Pound for Pound podcast? Right? And
Because the
why?
champs called him.
So now when we get to that podcast, we are going to structure it. We are going to start, if I was in the shoes, if I was in the camp of cooking this story, we are going to start as normal. There will be no animosity. We'll just be talking, laughing, gisting. And then at some point, I will drop a question, or I will say something. Because here's the thing. If this fight is actually real, that fight should happen in the first 10 minutes. But if that fight happens at the end of the show, it's definitely scripted. Because they were like, okay, let's do something. Let's make sure people actually watch the show so we can cash out from the show. Let's put the fight at the end. You understand what I mean? So that is what I would do if I was thinking about money. But if you watch that episode and you see that the fight did not happen in the first 10 minutes, my brother, that thing was scripted. But King Dems, I'll go to you first before Farouk. King Dems, what do you think about this rivalry? Do you think it's real, or do you think there's a hint of realness in it?
I think that there's a hint of realness in it, right? So I think definitely they are trying to build a narrative. It is clear as daylight. They are trying to build a narrative. However, Belal has been sort of a bit disrespectful. You know, there's a thin line between being goofy and being disrespectful. So Belal has sort of crossed the line lately, especially when he recently became champion and, you know, Islam was helping him with the belt and Usman, you know, was being goofy, and then Belal started, you know, being disrespectful. So basically, it is what it is. Like, there is an element of truth in this, and I can't wait to see how this build up goes. But for me, I feel like there is enough build up in it for Dana White to take it up and, you know, want to build that fight, because Dana White wants champions that are commercially viable. And right now in the welterweight division, there isn't that top contender that is commercially viable better than Usman, rather, right? Shafkat, who else? JDM, the Irishman. They're not, you know, at that stage of commercial viability for the UFC, and they need that cash out champion. So basically, I think they would likely give Usman that title shot.
Well, good luck to the UFC to defend their choice of giving somebody on a 3-fight losing streak a championship fight when Shafkat is there, even though Shafkat has not fought anybody. But Farouk, what are your thoughts? Do you think this beef is actually real? You think it's real?
I kind of agree with both your opinion and Demola's opinion. I think it's real and not real, and I'll explain why. I just feel sorry for Belal Mohamed to some extent. I think he's a very good fighter, and I don't think he actually wants to do all he's doing at the moment against Usman. But he has been considered by the fans as a guy who is boring, a guy who cannot pull the crowd, who cannot sell. So ever since he won that battle against Leon Edward, Belal is trying all he can, reading books, coming up with lines to throw people online and sell the fight. So I think that's what he's trying to do. And what I want to know from JB's point of view is that when did they actually do this podcast, this episode? Is it before he won the belt with Leon Edward, or after he won the belt? If it's after he won the belt, obviously it's manufactured. It's done by Ali Abdulaziz. That's for sure.
This was like a week or two ago, because they had Joannick on the show, and Joannick on the podcast with Belal, when they were talking about it, Joannik did say that he wanted, I should have gone with you because he was supposed to be on. So they had a schedule, Joannik, then
Let's,
Belal Mohammed. So this
let
was
me
like 2
clarify.
weeks ago or a week
The
ago.
guy, let's clarify so I will not I will not confuse the audience. The guy on the podcast is just Jason Anik. He's twin of Joe Anik. That's the guy hosting the
Hey,
podcast with Belal. That's Jason Anik, the twin brother of
wait,
Joe
you mean
Anik. So let's get out of the way first of all.
Joannik is
Yeah,
is a
he's a
twin?
twin.
That's
He's
twin.
a
Yes,
No
twin.
that's a twin.
shoot. I
That's a
had
twin.
no idea. Oh
So that's
my
it.
god.
So
Okay, so
Joe
there
Anik
you
went
go.
a
There
week
you,
before.
eh?
Johnny went, and then Jason Anik was saying he should have gone with Belal. So, like you're saying, it should be something recent. So it
Yeah, it's
seems
very recent. It was like a week
it's
or 2 weeks
recent.
ago.
So we don't know. So I agree with JB. If it's very recent and it's manufactured, at least involved somehow. So, but the fact is that they're all
Definitely.
trying to build this fight. They're all trying to build this fight, but the fans are not happy about it online. They are saying Shafka deserved the title shot. Another news I saw is that Shafka already signed a contract for um Shafkat versus Usman. They're waiting for Usman to sign the contract. But I think Usman will won the title fight. UFC can justify that, JB. Usman was one time the pound for pound number one king for a year, holding holding the UFC as a whole as the number one guy in the company. And he lost to Hamzat in the middleweight division.
Middleweight
So
division.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of way to bring Usman to the picture is there. Well, I don't know. That's why that's my opinion. But
Yeah,
Shafkat deserves
I have another thing to
And it's
talk
number 2
about
on the rankings.
with regards to the
yeah.
fans, right? The MMA fans, you guys should realize something. These Eastern European wrestlers, they have already dominated your sport, and most of them are champions now. And as you know, as a casual fan, you know that their fighting style is boring. They grapple, wrestling, and smash. That's their style. And it's almost like right now, as I'm speaking to you, the only striker that is a champion that might put on an exciting fight or guarantees an exciting fight, actually, there are two. The only fighters that can guarantee, champions that can guarantee exciting fight is Dricos Duplessis and Alex Pereira. Those two, that's it. If you start from Pantoja, because nobody cares about
Come
the
on, you're not
flyweights.
Islam Makhachev.
Eh?
It's also you like you're not fit Islam Makhachev.
Farouk, I beg. You know.
Okay.
Pantoja to Merab to Islam to Belal Mohammed. We know Islam has the backing of he has tapped from the aura of Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Islam is something that the UFC used to cash out in the Middle East. That's why Islam is always main eventing in Abu Dhabi, right? Because the Abu Dhabi, they would want a big event, but they would want an Arab or a Muslim guy on there, and Islam is that guy for them at the moment. So even if you look at the contenders that these champions have, Umar Nurmagomedov is challenging Merab. It's like fry pan to fire in that situation for the UFC, right? UFC were enjoying Sean Sugar Show O'Malley being their champion. Now, now there's no way Sean O'Malley will sniff that title because he cannot beat Umar or Merab, right? Go to the middleweight division, and the welterweight division is Belal or Shafkat. Either of them are not going to help the UFC's business. The UFC are peaking right now. They are not going up anymore. They are like this. The graph is not going up anymore. They need superstars. And I swear, I feel like this is a discussion they always have in the UFC office. How do we
I feel like they
tweak
will
the
soon buy.
rules?
They'll soon buy
How
some
do
guys
we-
on Bellator.
How do we tweak the rules to make sure that wrestling cannot be so much of an advantage? Because wrestling, as long as wrestling is the best advantage to win a title and you are so good at wrestling and you can neutralize striking, you'll be the champion, as we've seen with Merab.
But
right?
I think
So-
they're already doing that. They're taking some moves out already at the moment, right? Kick to the ground opponent is now going to be allowed from November. I don't know if you saw that. If you guys saw that,
Kick in the head or kick in the body?
I don't. I think any kick to normally if you're on the ground with your knees on the ground, you cannot.
Oh no! Normally on the ground you can kick the body. You cannot kick the head.
Okay, you cannot kick the head. But I think they're going to take that law out now. You can look at it
Khalil
as-
Round 3 was kicking people on the floor.
Body kicks.
Well,
I think the head. I think the
yeah.
head. I won't take that.
Body
Well,
kicks.
Three
But
different.
there's just a technical twist to the law now.
Okay.
Honestly,
There's
I think that's a
technical
great
twist
idea
to
because
the
one championship allow kicking in the head. Because I think I
Yes.
saw Dimitri
yeah.
Johnson lose a fight from kicking in the head. I think they should
it's
do
not
that
very safe.
actually. So because
they're trying to
if you watch the UFC, right? Some people go on their knees and touch they would touch the mat because they know that you cannot kick them in the head. And now you know what I'm thinking? Fighters like Kamaru, Usman that like to start fighting with crawling. You know that thing in wrestling that they call the punt kick, the one that Randy Orton does. If the UFC allows people to kick grounded opponents, Usman will not crawl to start a fight again. John Jones too will not crawl to start a fight again.
But I was the one guy out. Even though I agree with your point about the UFC going downward, what about Ilya Chukuri? That guy is a good fighter.
I even forgot Ilya.
Ilya is going to fight
Yes, he's
Max
a
is
good
gonna take
fighter.
him out.
Yes, Ilya is a good fighter, right? But the UFC would rather have Max as the champion. You would rather have Max as the champion.
I want Max as a champion.
No, they're fighting for the title.
So
They're fighting for the
yeah, they
title,
are going
I
to
think,
yeah.
November.
Yeah. So so I only started talking about this because I was saying, these fans, is this what you really want? You want Belal to be your champion and then pass the title to Shafkat. After Shafkat, before you know, another Nurmagomedov is out there. So is this what you want? Would you not rather have Usman sweeten the pot a bit, since we know that Usman has graduated from wrestler to striker now? So I think
Do you have to want to be champion? Do you have to want to smile? Because Usman will always fight. He's not going to be that guy that will, I want to take a break. I want to relax. The UFC will prefer to have the Usman and Adesanya as back as champion today.
The time is already gone. Father time has caught up to them, and the skill level has caught up to them. All right, guys. I think we've spoken enough. It's a Sunday night. It's getting late. A lot of people have to get to work. Thank you for joining us. I am Jibril. Farouk has been kind enough to join us today, and it was a great conversation. Will you not agree, Farouk?
Yeah,
Is it not something you would like to be doing every week?
Bring back our
Why
Farouk.
We're going to be back, but well, I'll try.
All right. And that's Kingdoms from Belfast. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Please like,
Yes,
subscribe,
guys.
do all the good stuff for us. Logs, hugs, and kisses. Have a great day.